In any social activity, rules and regulations are necessary for everything to proceed smoothly. This is also true for football, a sport that may seem simple with 22 players competing for a ball on the field, yet it has numerous rules that must be followed. The referee is responsible for making decisions during each match based on the laws established by the International Football Association Board, IFAB, to manage the game as objectively as possible. The players are expected to adhere to these rules. However, throughout history, there have been many exceptional situations where players have caused new regulations to be added to the sport. Today, let's explore some players who have led to changes in the rules of football. The most recent case is that of Emiliano Martinez at the 2022 World Cup, held at the end of last year, especially during the final match between Argentina and France. The Argentinian goalkeeper made distracting gestures and spoke to opposing players, causing them to only score 2 out of 4 penalty kicks, securing Argentina's victory. Prior to this, he also saved 2 penalty kicks from Dutch players to help Argentina advance to the quarterfinals. Martinez repeatedly performed jumping jacks to distract opponents taking penalty kicks or approaching the ball at the 11-meter mark. A professor from the Norwegian School of Sports Sciences commented on this, saying, "Martinez had a series of actions that negatively affected the opponent's concentration, making them lose focus on their task. Additionally, it affected their emotions, increased anxiety, and could even provoke aggressive behavior. He used every technique possible, and I believe it was a deliberate, systematic plan by him." Many goalkeepers use similar tricks, but many believe that Martinez's actions prompted the IFAB to introduce new rules to regulate players' emotions during matches. Starting from the 2023-2024 season, Law 14 in the football rulebook has been updated to specify that goalkeepers are not allowed to behave unfairly to distract the opposing player, such as delaying the penalty or tampering with the penalty spot, crossbar, or net. Goalkeepers are also prohibited from acting disrespectfully towards the match and the opponents, such as trying to unfairly distract penalty takers. This new rule has sparked much controversy. Penalties are already a psychological battle, and goalkeepers, who are already at a disadvantage in 11-meter situations, are now even more so. Some argue that if this is the case, IFAB should also limit penalty takers to a single, straightforward run-up without any tricks. Perhaps you didn't know that in the early 1990s, goalkeepers could catch the ball with their hands when a teammate passed it back without being penalized with an indirect free kick as they are today. The person who prompted IFAB to introduce the rule banning goalkeepers from handling deliberate back passes was former Manchester United goalkeeper Peter Schmeichel. In 1992, the Danish team made a fairy tale run to win the Euro despite not being highly rated. One of the key contributors to their success was Schmeichel, who frustrated many top players with his lightning-fast reflexes. Additionally, he was a master at wasting time when his team had the advantage, often catching the ball in a clear position to kill time, especially in the Euro 1992 final against Germany. While effective, this tactic was seen as unsporting, prompting the introduction of the new rule banning goalkeepers from handling deliberate back passes, which is still in use today. In 1990, Belgian footballer Jean-Marc Bosman was playing for RFC Liège, and nearing the end of his contract, he intended to move to France to play for Dunkirk, but the transfer fell through because Liège demanded a transfer fee of $500,000. As a result, Bosman had his salary cut by Liège. It took 5 years of legal battles for Bosman to win a court ruling from the European Court of Justice, stating that players could leave their clubs freely after their contracts expired. This ruling changed the transfer market forever. After the Bosman ruling, players were no longer passive in contract negotiations. They could negotiate new contracts with other clubs and transfer freely when their contracts expired. This ruling also abolished restrictions on the number of European players in domestic leagues across Europe. While beneficial for players, it created an imbalance among clubs, as Bosman himself admitted, noting that it made top clubs even stronger thanks to huge revenues from the Champions League. On November 2nd, 2002, Diego Forlan was brought on in a match against Southampton with the score tied at 1-1. With a beautiful long-range shot, Forlan put Manchester United ahead. Overjoyed, he ran to the corner of the stands and celebrated with his teammates by taking off his shirt. However, Forlan struggled to put his shirt back on and continued playing shirtless until the ball went out of play. To prevent similar incidents, FIFA issued a regulation on June 22, 2004, in Law 12 regarding fouls and misconduct, stating that a player removing their shirt after scoring a goal would be cautioned for unsporting behavior. This rule was introduced because many players removing their shirts in celebration was seen as inappropriate and, in some cultures, offensive. It also aimed to prevent players from using the occasion to display unsporting messages on their undershirts. One of the most significant moments that led to a rule change and the advancement of technology in football occurred on June 28, 2010. England played against Germany in the round of 16 at the 2010 World Cup. Despite a strong lineup, England suffered a humiliating 4-1 defeat. The most memorable incident was Frank Lampard's disallowed goal. With Germany leading 2-1, Lampard's powerful volley from outside the box struck the crossbar and clearly crossed the goal line, but the referee did not award the goal. Replays showed the ball had crossed the line by a considerable margin. This injustice angered England fans and players. If the goal had been awarded, England might have equalized, and the match could have turned out differently. This incident led to the introduction of goal line technology, first used at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Goal line technology ushered in a new era of technology in football to ensure fairness and more accurate decisions, including the implementation of VAR, Video Assistant Referee. These instances illustrate how players have influenced changes in football rules through their actions, demonstrating that evolution and adaptation are essential for the sport's continuous development. Despite the controversies, these changes contribute to the game's fairness and keep it in line with modern trends.